speak right now. They don't want to hear it because when I speak, it's over.
Let me ask you a question. Y'all, everything that we saying, y'all gonna film, y'all gonna put out, right?
No, we edit.
Oh, y'all gonna edit. So the good shit y'all gonna edit, the bad shit y'all gonna give it to the government, right?
No, come on. Why should we?
So what y'all gonna do with all this shit?
Why should we give it to the government?
So who y'all gonna give it to? What y'all gonna do with it?
I'm gonna send it in the show, on the TV channel where I work.
So what's the sense of stroking this wrong?
It's no problem. It's no problem. I want it. I like it. I like it that way.
No, see, because I wanna make sure that everything I say is coming.
Hey, we get a...
In May 2003, ODB was finally released on parole.
And they put a chip in his body so they can monitor every move he made. And he knew that they chipped him.
It's certain things I don't really want to go into that far, but where it causes me to lead to think that somebody had put it on. You know what I mean? And he knows because we talked about this. You know what I mean? And then I remember days later, he just was never really acting the same no more.
He did a lot of things in this world that was rare. And I wouldn't be surprised if his name wasn't on the list. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if my name ain't on the list, you know what I mean? With the whole Wu-Tang, you know what I mean? We different. And sometimes in this country, when you're different and you speak different, and you stand out for something different, you stand up for yourself, they put you on the list. Dirty was that kind of man. He wanted real freedom. He expressed real freedom. So I don't doubt that somebody was on this case. I don't doubt that somebody was ever trying to hurt him. I don't doubt that people was watching him.
He used to say the police, the FBI's after him. They were trying to kill him. I believe it now.
It's not that he's crazy, but I'm saying the things that he says, and it's like, damn, how you seeing what you saying?
I'm not crazy at all, okay? Everybody knows saying that Dirty is crazy. Dirty is not crazy at all. Dirty just foresee a lot that a lot of people don't foresee.
And by the way, white men are not that damn smart. Neither are these Jewish men. They're getting all this from the demigods, Satan, fallen angels. The Lord gave Satan who? Earth. The land been given to the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked? Satan. Satan have many employers out there. Cloning is one. Reptiles is another. They live in you. And most of these creatures that live in human bodies are reptiles. But once they become of human, they can stay in that human body for a very long time. But if that human body were to get crashed or killed, which they wouldn't because they got powers, don't get it twisted, okay? But if they did, they have about 5 more lined up. The first cloning may take, when they first clone a human being, it takes 3 to 6 months. Maybe sometimes a year, depending on the technology, but usually with the technology they got, between 6 to 7 months to clone a human being. They need their tissues, their brain cells and all that. They'll clone a human, okay? After that first human is cloned, they can clone you every hour thereafter. So if they want to make 20 of you, they could. If they want to make 10 of you, they could. When you saw Saddam Hussein, that was not the real Saddam Hussein. He did not die like that. They got rid of Saddam in the early 90s, but they were using his clones to have fun with you, to be amused. That was not the real Saddam, but he acted just like him. Michael Jackson is not dead. Michael Jackson doesn't look anything the way he did. The slim Michael Jackson, because they know that's what y'all like. The Michael Jackson that y'all saw dancing with James Brown, that was a clone. They had to keep fixing on it because the clone was breaking down. He wasn't going into surgeries. See, clones also can't gain weight. So basically what they did, they had to keep doctoring on the clone of Michael who was alive. The one that was dancing with Michael, or the dance with James Brown, okay, that Michael Jackson, that wasn't the real Michael. When they cloned it, Michael, that clones don't grow hair. So in other words, however they clone you, whatever you have, that's how you're gonna come out. That's just how the clone produce. So in other words, if you're a person that have long hair, however they clone you, that's how the clone gonna look. When they cloned Michael Jackson, his hair was never attached because the first Michael Jackson that was cloned, his head was in a third to fourth degree burn in Pepsi commercial. He lost half his head. I mean, it wasn't gone, but it was it was very badly burned. Michael Jackson looked like a monster. Okay, and he was still slim. So they cloned him while he was under the knife. And when they cloned him, they needed 2 years to remake him because he didn't look nothing like Michael Jackson. I don't know if y'all can peep game. So when they cloned him, they had to make him lighter and make up this skin disease because his skin didn't look the same, his body, they changed everything about him. In the end, when Michael was looking really, really bad, the clone body was breaking down because clones don't think like humans. Clones have to have people around them to tell them what they do because they get adolescence. They can't think properly. It's called handlers, right? So when Michael started to break down, his body was breaking down. His nose was artificial. I don't know if y'all noticed, go back and Google Michael Jackson nose. It looks like a robot because it wasn't him. His whole head was a wig. It was a cap because when they first cloned Michael, he didn't have any hair. It all burnt off in the Pepsi commercial. They put Michael in a capsule and cloned him. Brought him back 2 years as the clone, and Michael Jackson was watching all of this like, I can't believe they're doing this. So what happened to Michael? He just lived his life. Michael Jackson is still alive. He's already appeared on TV, but y'all didn't even know who he was. Go back and watch the CNN of Larry King, the guy with the glasses, with the real bad burnt victim that played like Michael Jackson saved him when he was a kid. That's Michael Jackson. It burned him so bad it disfigured him. It tore up his skin. It did everything to him. You understand what I'm telling you? And also, after Michael was cloned, the real Michael Jackson, they bleached his skin so he would look nothing like Michael. If you look at the dude who was on Larry King telling you about his childhood, how Michael Jackson helped him, he looks just like Michael. Just look at his eyes. And that's Michael Jackson. He's disfigured. That's how he looked when he got done with the Pepsi commercial.
Joining us now here in Los Angeles, Miko Brando, who was with us almost every night after this untimely passing, longtime Michael Jackson friend attending the funeral, and theyve, yes, that's his name, theyve. He was David Rothenberg. He was set on fire in 1983, suffered, as you can see, terrible scars. Michael Jackson befriended him and paid for a lot of his surgeries. Theyve is also attending the burial. Why theyve?
Well, to liberate myself from the confines of my father's criminality.
He caused the fire?
Yeah. He is a criminal, and he caused all this. To free myself of his name and his legacy, I decided to become my own person through changing my name.
How did he find out about you, Theyve?
He heard about me, and he had contacted me and wanted to meet me.
How old were you at the time?
I was about 7 years old at the time.
And were you in the hospital?
I was not in the hospital at the time. I was in interim back and forth from surgery.
And what did he do for you?
Well, basically, he befriended me. He took me into his life, which is very rare for Michael to do, but he opened up his arms to me and accepted me as a very good friend of his. And throughout the years, he never let me go.
Were you surprised, Theyve, to hear from him when you were 7?
Oh, it's a very interesting story, Larry. It was kind of, the visit to his Encino house was very impromptu, and it was kept a secret by my mother. And I had always been kind of a admirer of his, not a fan per se, but I always loved his music. And my mother surprised me one day and brought me up to Neverland. And I entered an arcade, and there were all these Paul McCartney records all over this, The Girl Is Mine, and, you know, this and that. And I remember sitting down, and at the time, my favorite video game was Pole Position. And I was playing Pole Position, and I felt a little tap on my shoulder, and I turned around, and there was Michael. And you know what, Larry? At that moment, we embraced, and that embrace never ended throughout our whole entire friendship.
Dave, what don't we know about him we should know?
Well, I believe what people fail to realize is that Michael was a human being. Throughout the years, I think he was kind of stigmatized by the media, and I believe that wasn't really helpful to him or to anybody around him. I believe that Michael was a great person. He has never hurt a soul, and I am happy to have been his friend for all these years and been a dedicated friend.
One artist who got that opportunity was Akon. A couple of years ago, Michael invited him to his studio in hopes of writing new music. What resulted was one of the most memorable moments of Akon's life.
Like, my favorite moments was the day we actually met, because I didn't expect him to be that cool. You know what I'm saying? I love movies. He was a moviegoer. He loves movies as well. And he was like, yo, man, I gotta take you to this theater. This new technology they got is like 4D. Like, it feels like, you know, the images are right in front of you, like you're actually in the mix of it. And I was like, nah, I know 3D. And he's like, no, listen, you gotta check this out. I said, well, let's go. And he paused for a minute. He's like, okay, let's do it tomorrow. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I don't know how we expect to go to the movies, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is Michael Jackson. Like, how the hell are we going to actually go to the movies? So the next day, you know, he calls my room. We was both staying at the Palm in Vegas. He's like, you ready? I'm ready. And I was like, yeah, let me get dressed. But at the time, I thought he was just joking. I didn't think he was really, I thought he was going to probably just rent, you know, we go through the back late night or something. This is broad daylight. So he grabbed the kids. They looking normal. Mike comes out. He has his disguise on, you know. So I starts laughing. Because I didn't even recognize him, you know. It wasn't like he had a fake mustache or he had a wig or nothing. He just had a simple hoodie on. So when you look at it, he could have easily passed to be a Saudi or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're going into the mall, we get on the elevator, go down, we're going through the hotel where they have the IMAX thing. And as soon as we walk in, all these kids start coming running towards us, you know? So I'm like, oh, damn, I think they know who he is. And all the kids just caught running up to me, asking me for an autograph. So I'm like, okay, I should just go ahead and should I just toss him off before they recognize who he is or just play it cool? So he shakes his head and like as if, yeah, go ahead, do what you gotta do. So I sit, I'm signing autographs, taking pictures, and I'm looking at these kids' faces and they not even knowing that Mike is standing right next to me. Like, if they only knew this guy was standing right next, you know how much havoc that would have caused up in that place? So we get into the theater and then the manager greets us up front. So he comes and hands us the tickets. We're all seated. So as we, you know, talking, sometimes I forget that he's supposed to be in his disguise, you know. And I keep calling him Mike. Right, and this little girl hears it. She's like, and she looks over, and I think she recognized him. Like, I really think she did. So then when I realized she was peeping, then I start calling him Dave. But she wasn't stupid. So she runs up, full speed, goes all the way to the top of the theater. And I see her whisper, and I look up, and the girl's just pointing. And I know she's not pointing at me. Like, I didn't know this. And I think he kind of felt it, too. So right before the movie was over, we just all got up and started walking out. But by the time we got to the car, everybody in that place knew that possibly that could have been him. It was just the funniest thing, man.
The 3 bodyguards he trusted with his life speaking out for the first time. Ashley Banfield spent 3 days with the men who put their lives on the line for the king of pop. Now, no matter what you think about Jackson, what you hear from these men may change how you feel.
As for Michael's sometimes bizarre appearance, they say these bandages had nothing to do with secret surgeries.
Was he concealing an injury with those bandages?
No. That disguise to him was the burn victim look.
It was a disguise?
It was a disguise to him.
When you saw him coming downstairs, getting ready to get in the car with the bandages, what did you think?
Something's up, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, something's up.
Did you ever tell him?
How could you tell him that?
Right.
He's coming down with a kid, so we can't say, like, what the hell you got on, sir?
They didn't come around much. And when they did come, they came unexpected. And we would make Mr. Jackson aware that, one of your family members is outside the gate, would like to see you. And he would sometimes ask, do they have an appointment?
Michael would ask if his family members had appointments?
Yes.
When his father came, he was like, does he have an appointment?
But they say that didn't stop Michael's youngest brother, Randy, from trying.
There was another occasion when Randy came to the house and crashed the security gate with his vehicle. I drew my weapon on him, and first thing out of his mouth was, get that gun out of my face, or I'm calling the press, which took me back.
Unbelievable.
We made Mr. Jackson aware that your brother Randy is downstairs asking to see you very adamantly. And
what did Michael say?
He was not happy.
Did he see him?
No.
Randy Jackson admits he was there that night, but denies he ever set foot on the property. And as for that much talked about family intervention for Michael's alleged drug abuse, they say they were there for that too.
And he said, I'll only see my brothers.
They never got into the house.
No, he came outside.
He came into the
security trailer. Right.
He met his brothers in the security trailer.
Right.
Absolutely.
How was Michael afterwards?
Fine.
He didn't seem upset?
No, he just left the trailer and went back in the house.
Did he seem like he had a drug problem?
A drug problem? No.
Not a drug problem.
Not a problem.
Not a problem.
Certainly there were times that he gave the appearance that he was probably high on something.
He was intoxicated in some way, but I wouldn't say a problem, no.
They say they weren't in LA when Jackson died, but were among thousands of people at the Staples Center for the memorial.
I looked around. I looked at a lot of celebrities, a lot of stars.
Where were they?
And it just made me just wonder, where were they? Or
where were they?
Were these some of the people that turned their back on him after the second trial?
The guy was so lonely. Where were they?
And I just wanted to say I love him so much.
To see Paris on that stage.
That was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
That hurt me.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah,
He was a quiet ride home.
And theyve, yes, that's his name, theyve. He was David Rothenberg. He was set on fire in 1983, suffered, as you can see, terrible scars.
So as we, talking, sometimes I forget that he's supposed to be in disguise, And I keep calling him Mike. Right, and this little girl hears it, she's like, and she looks over, and I think she recognized him, like, I really think she did. So then when I realized she was peeping, then I start calling him Dave.
That disguise to him was the burn victim look. Just
it was like a disguise?
It was a disguise to him.
And so he grabbed the kids, they looking normal, Mike comes out, he has his disguise on,
How did he find out about you, Dave?
He heard about me and he had contacted me.
Songs come at the strangest times. I could be walking through a park or something and it'll just hit you. Every time I get a platinum album, it's never taken lightly on my behalf. I'm always honored, and it's great thanks.
They looking normal, Mike comes out, he has his disguise on.
That disguise to him was the burn victim.
And Dave, yes, that's his name.
So then when I realized she was peeping, then I start calling him Dave.
When you go about writing, what happens? Songs come at the strangest times. I could be walking.
How did he find out about you, Dave?
He heard about me and he had contacted me.
So Michael comes back 2 years later. He looks nothing like the real Michael Jackson, but people buy into it. He can still dance because the clones is good mimicker. They're good at mimicking, man. That's what they do. So he got all his moves, but he was a little bit stiffer. I don't know if y'all look at the old Michael and then look at the new Michael. He's a little bit stiffer. Okay. Now, when Michael first came back, didn't nobody really know how to take it. All right, because I can't recall if Billie Jean came out before the Pepsi commercial, but Michael sold his soul way before then because he did the Wiz commercial when Billie Jean wasn't even thought of. When he did the Wiz play When he said you can't get in, you can't get out the game, Michael sold his soul a long time ago because Joe Jackson sold his children out long ago, and Joe Jackson forced his kids to have sex with Berry Gordy and Quincy Jones and amongst the other executive producers. Them boys was molested long ago. Alright? That's about Michael.
You've put up some very strange tweets of late about cloning. What is it about cloning? Do you want to get cloned, or are celebrities getting cloned?
Yeah, man, I think people should look it up, man. I don't really want to say too much, but I will say do your own research.
You sound like a conspiracy theorist.
I'm not really a conspiracy theorist. It's no more conspiracy. I know. And so it's really up to each person to do their own research and come to your own truths, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we as people listen too much to what somebody tells us, and we don't actually go background check and really say, you know what, that really don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you really look at a lot of different things and you start to think, and so what I like to do is I like to provoke thought, you know, and provoking thought is the least you can do. You can't make somebody believe something. You really gotta just provoke thought.
Would you like to be cloned?
Would I like to be?
Yeah.
Am I already cloned?
Oh, are you already cloned?
I'd rather not say. But,
that means there's a possibility that you could already be cloned.
Yes, there's a possibility. But, you know, I know I'm me because my fingernails look the same and I have dreams too.
And also, too, y'all need to pay attention to these other celebrities when they're leaving hints. They're leaving clues all over the place. Everybody can't talk. Everybody can't talk because, you know, they got kids or, you know, they made some type of agreement. But pay attention. Everybody who's in this shit or who's in this industry or who has a clone is not evil or malicious. Some people just got born into this shit, like me.
It's not just about copying a person. It's about consciousness transfer. And it started with MK Ultra. And the reason why this is important is because it's a lot of people that are unwillingly participating in this shit and they don't even fucking know it. It's mind control. And it started with Germany. It started after World War II. All the Nazis were, you know, escorted, VIP'd in. All the top scientists and military personnel were harbored in the United States and South America. And also, prior to that, the Nazis went to Antarctica. And a lot of the reason why Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica was because the Nazis were in Antarctica. Yes, Wernher von Braun, exactly. Fucking props. Aaron Badescu, I don't know if I'm saying the name right, my bad, but Wernher von Braun is actually he said he actually started NASA, I believe. And on Wernher von Braun's tombstone, he has a Bible verse that talks about the firmament. So I thought that was interesting. But so anyway, after World War II, the Nazis went to Antarctica and found this fucking supercomputer. And this supercomputer was I ain't got no lighter. Here we go. And so this supercomputer was already there and under the fucking ice. And it's kind of like that movie Prometheus where they go find that spaceship and it's like a supercomputer already in there. And so a part of the reason why Admiral Byrd went down there was they made it seem like he was just trying to explore Antarctica, but he was trying to go see what the fuck the Nazis was doing, and he got his ass turned back. If you look at that interview, it looks like he's not really telling the truth about what he saw. Like, you can tell something is like on his heart when he's talking. Like, go look at that interview about Admiral Byrd.
It's not a very good start, is it? Look at me. Look at me. Look at me here. Eye contact is absolutely crucial for an interrogator, because what you're trying to do is to get him to concentrate on you. The eyes are the windows to the soul. It's a very true statement. The eyes will move in various locations on a reaction to various questions that are put to them. There are 6 areas
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to recall something, a past event or something of that nature, then the majority of people will move up into the top right. If they're making things up, it'll come from the top left. If you touch a raw nerve, then the eyes will move down to the left or to the bottom right. The way in which you can get around this is to train yourself to keep looking straight ahead as soon as a question's asked you. Because otherwise, at one point, you're going to trip up and your eyes will move to one location or the other.
Admiral, an expedition to which I believe you're the advisor is now en route. What is that expedition doing?
Well, that's the icebreaker Atka, and it's a reconnaissance expedition. It's going down to the South Pole area to make certain observations and to look for some bases. They will be back in April, and they will report back, and upon the information we get from that undertaking, we will base the bigger expedition that's to follow. And it's
is that very definitely?
And so basically, the Nazis coming to America and South America is what started Operation Paperclip, and it's what started the CIA and the NSA. And so the Central Intelligence Agency is actually like all of the major Hollywood studios, they're actually the CIA, and that's why all this information gets put into these movies. It's sort of like a soft disclosure, sort of like a predictive programming, I don't know. But like, you ever see these movies and it's just like, why the fuck are these secrets in this fucking movie? It's like, that's why the CIA is behind it. And it's not even just like behind it, like they literally are Hollywood. And so, where was I? So anyway, I'm trying to be brief. So basically, with Operation Paperclip, that's what started all the MK Ultra tests and them grabbing people involuntarily, all the missing kids and missing people that were used for MK Ultra. And what they would do is they would experiment with consciousness transfer, where they could transfer your consciousness, and also they could replicate DNA. They could replicate your body. They could replicate your body, put you in another body, train you to be an assassin or fucking anything, and then transfer you, and then wipe your memory and transfer you back into your original body, and you think that you just had a crazy ass dream, and it happens different. It happens different for different people. Like, certain people are like kidnapped and kept on these bases. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe they were like they trained them, transferred their consciousness, trained them, put them back in their original body, put them back into society as some Hollywood actor or artist that just pops up out of nowhere. You've never heard of him. Or a president or a news anchor or the CEO of a huge multi-billion-dollar company. You know, it's they basically brainwashed and made sleeper agents out of all of the key factors, the key integral positions in society, including news anchors. I think that's a huge thing because, as you saw, the whole shit with Al Roker, when they said make room for the Holy Spirit, he froze up for 17 seconds. That's some MK Ultra shit.
So I'm still here alive. I don't know why. I don't know why I can talk. Maybe it's because I have some type of amnesty, or maybe it's because somebody extremely, extremely close to me is a Mason and I'm protected in that sense. I don't know. But if they wanted to do something with me, I wouldn't have even gotten this far to telling y'all about cloning. So to the people telling me, Bob, I fear for your life, y'all don't worry. I'm in good hands. Just continue spreading the word.
Satan runs everything. So when we hear about people talking about the Jews don't run, the Jewish don't run shit because they're the synagogues. The real Jews are the Hebrews. So when these people talk about running the world and check, they are not changing anything. Satan runs it all. So that's why I like when Bob talked about You must, because you found out who the Rockefellers were, the Rothschild, and you think you solved it. I like what he said. That's not it. It's something much darker. See, that's when I know someone's giving him a pass, because he don't go into detail. Because if no one was giving him a pass, you'd be just like me. I go into detail. No man controls me. I don't belong to nobody's club. That's why I go into detail. Bob will tell you things, but he'll cut it off. So I think he's been given a pass to tell y'all, because they know most people ain't gonna believe it no way. But that's the truth. The bankers don't run nothing. They own stuff, but they're not the ones that control it. It's a deeper picture. Something dark and gloomy controls it, and that's Satan. That's why his show, Lucifer, is doing strong. He ain't gonna let his show fail. When he controlled Hollywood, if they let that show go off the air, he gonna erupt. That's giving him glory. You see that? So, yeah, Bob is definitely on point, but I believe he's been given a pass to say what he say. Especially when he said that most of y'all found out who the bankers was, and you think you done figured it out. When he said it's something much darker than that, I already knew. And then he didn't go into detail, but he didn't have to. The truth of the matter is, B.O.B., Satan controls it all. That's why in order to have a household name, you gotta sell your soul. He want to make sure that you never get a crown from Yahweh be Yahweh. He want to make sure that you have no hopes of getting to the next life. That's why he wants you to sell everything, denounce the Most High, blood sacrifices and rituals. He know the Most High know you aware of what you're doing, because every time you do a blood sacrifice, you pierce your fingers and put it in the books and sign.
George Bush doesn't care about black people. Please call. In the past few days, America and people have been stepping up to donate money, to do all they can to help people in New Orleans and all over.
Remember when I told you Tupac is dead? Yeah, Tupac did die. I was correct. I stand correct, and I quote that, and I stand by that. But years later, I found out that that wasn't the real Tupac. That was his clone. I mean, I know when you first hear this shit, how you feel, because I feel the same way. I like this bullshit, right? That's the first thing you're going to say. These motherfuckers of the elite, this Illuminati, these, Lord knows, the Father the Lord has to intervene soon, because they're fucking monsters. These people are fucking monsters. And what I'm saying is, here's the kicker. Satan is already, the Lord hasn't let Satan go all the way, but they already doing what they do. Man, goddamn, since 1945, they've been cloning? Really? And this shit is real, man. Anybody they feel that's talented, very talented, they ain't gonna let you die. Not if you work for them. They ain't gonna let you go. Tupac, yes, they wanted Tupac's brain. They wanted him to stay around so they can manipulate. Now, how they do when they clone, man, Tupac could be anywhere underground, living as the Illuminati has him under, patrol. Like, they have underground dungeons. And these underground dungeons is not as bad as you think. They have a playground. They have fake grass. All of that stuff. They have shopping mall. I'm telling you what I know. A lot of people who you don't see no more that was once famous are living there right now. They grow old. The point of the matter is, when they sell their soul, they don't want to die. Tupac never wanted to die. He sold his soul long ago. Okay? And he sold his soul, and he said it in too many of his songs. I sold my soul. He said all the fucking time. Just go back and listen to the shit. He just ain't saying it to be saying it. Eminem said it too. These guys telling you the truth, but you don't want to accept it because you're an idolater. Now, let us know that the producers, I'm talking about the elite, the so-called Jewish, the Khazars, the synagogues, had performed fellatio on Tupac, and they turned him out. When they put him in the bathtub with the gold between his legs, that's a bitch move. He was their pin-up bitch. Now, go back and Google all men in bathtubs, and I guarantee you they're big-time celebrities. that took pictures in bathtubs butt naked. That's a turnout position. That's a submission position. Okay? Pac threw up the pyramid. On that album called All Eyes on Me, he threw up the pyramid. A lot of y'all thought that was a love sign. He was just putting his hands up, man, come on. So I broke this down a lot. There's some things I didn't know, though. But I broke down so much Tupac shit back almost 10 years ago. I was the first one who did Tupac on a breakdown, on like a documentary. It's just appalling to me that people can't accept it. Do I believe Tupac's still alive? I don't believe. At the time, everything lined up for Pac to be dead. But after 4 years after I made, or actually 5 years after I made that Pac movie, that documentary, I discovered new things. I used to always wonder, why come Suge so bold and act like it's no big deal that Pac is dead? He was rejoicing. Even in the car. Suge looked like he had a lot on his mind. And I think when I did the film, I said, Suge knew someone was going to go down that night. Yeah, he did. Suge knew Pac was getting ready to do a Machiavelli. He was going to fake his death. And then I went to that autopsy that everybody else had, and that was a fake. That was a Photoshop. Afeni Shakur knew her son wasn't dead. Pac went to Cuba. Now, y'all probably say, well, what's the big deal? They at least made a whole lot of money, but he has to get that approved. Elvis Presley faked his death, but he had it approved. Tupac did it on his own. He paid a bodyguard, he paid Suge, and he paid, I think, a couple more people. And he had a lot of money, so each of them got paid 1.2 or 1.5 million to fake his death. And he went to Cuba. That's the truth. So when the elites found out he faked his death, they didn't want to say he wasn't dead. They wanted to keep him dead because he was making so much money off his music. But then, if you notice, they went after the Shakurs hard. I mean, anybody that was named Shakur, they interviewed or they put in jail or they harassed. You notice that? That's because Pac did not get it approved to the elite. So if Pac is alive now, he should be late 40s or early 50s. You see Wu-Tang, right? You think they all hard? You don't think Method Man been in the bed with Jewish men? Because he has. Now, to look at that brother, he hardcore, huh? That dude been in man, please, with transgenders as well. Kevin Gates, same thing. He's a switch hitter. He'll play hard when he come on 106, or not 106, what, the Breakfast Club. He always, man, my wife, you know, she want to play with my booty. And I was like, I ain't down with that. That's dead giveaway. Ain't nobody talking about booty. But see, a man that intertwined with other men, he brings up gay scenarios to make himself don't look gay, but realistically he is gay, but he figured if he put it out there, he protects his masculinity, but really he is a switch hitter. Kevin Gates is bisexual. Alright? And he worships Satan on a regular. He just like the rest of them, and he drink blood. Hell, Tiger from the Birdman camp, Birdman screwed Tiger. That's why he went on a tattoo craving. He tattooed his body to death. Lil Wayne admitted Birdman had him. Slim, his brother too. He get down like that. He admitted on camera, Bird got me, they gonna get y'all too. That new rapper, I sucked Birdman dick for the deal, man. Yeah, I sucked the dick. Birdman fucked me for the deal. They telling y'all just don't want to believe it.
A lot of niggas hate because I'm in motherfucking rich gang and shit. And you niggas keep trying to test me. Y'all keep trying to test me. I was on media takeout on World Star and saying, yeah, Birdman fucked me. He fucked me in the ass for the deal. I'm gonna be real. Birdman fucked me for the deal, man. I suck Birdman dick.
Y'all act like they just lying. They just publicity stunts. They not lying, man. They do women worse. They got more holes to fill. And they just make women do some outrageous shit. Y'all don't think they drink period blood? They do. I told y'all this shit years ago. Y'all thought y'all's crazy. Now this shit coming out. They drink urine. They eat poop. Now they showed you in certain movies how they walk women around. Man, they take the baddest bit, Alicia Keys. They have walked Alicia Keys around executive offices. Put her ass on the table and let her shit in the middle of the table and motherfuckers eat it. Why do you think a lot of these women try to get fat? They do it deliberately. Because when you big, if they don't really want you when you get like out of shape and you ain't attractive no more, they don't like that. They want you to stay petite and sexy. Okay? Like Kelly Clarkson, when she first came in, she was beautiful. Kelly gained that weight. Yeah, I know having children make you gain weight, but Kelly enjoyed being big because they don't want her as much. What's that girl named Demi Lovato? They done dug her out. Katy Perry. Hell, she got an album with the all scene. They done did so much shit to her. And some of them women, they tell, don't gain weight. Stay favored. They'll tell you, I know you getting sick of the rituals and us fucking you and eating poop, but we want you to stay slim. We want you to keep a nice weight. Y'all want to know why they get drunk all the time and why they stay high and they tat up their bodies? A lot of times they get tattoos because the men have other men penetrating the anal. It takes their spirit and makes them feminine, so the tattoos make them hard again. Why do they stay high, intoxicated? Because they know the shit they have witnessed. Sometimes you don't have to get fucked in your butt by a man, but they witness a lot of stuff. They seen little kids get raped before their eyes and they have to deal with that shit. They seen the cloning labs. They know that stuff exists, man. They know Satan is real in this business. They done seen people get killed. They threaten their lives and a week later they take them out or take somebody out in their family. They seen people sign their name on a dotted line with their name in blood so that they can make $20 million because they've done it. And when they think about they off their moms for $20-30 million like Kanye West, Jennifer Hudson, and amongst a lot of others, they can't deal with that, man. They bug out. That's why they stay high. All of them been chipped. And y'all probably say, well, what's the point of chipping them? So they stay under mind control. They know what they saying. They know what they thinking. When these people sell their soul, they don't want to die because they know what's coming. So they want to prolong their life and they do it by cloning. But that's not them. You see, the real you can only stay alive for so long, but they take every kind of drug, they sleep in capsules. Man, they do everything to try to prolong their life. All right, they're not the Rockefellers. Have what, 9-10 plastic surgeries? He got a bad heart. So what do you think he's doing? He wouldn't kill somebody to get that heart. Because a heart transplant take a long time to get. They wouldn't kill somebody with the same scenario of DNA to give him that heart because they don't want to die. All right, the movie called Hostel. Now, I know a lot of y'all look at these quarantine films and say, well, that's just a movie, Yash. No. The movie called Hostel, it exists. This is what those rich people do. They get around each other and they watch people torture each other and they get off on it. I mean, they literally sit there with Dom Perignon, Cristal, whatever they want to drink, but most of them like blood. And they're sitting there in a damn high chair, or they sitting in the bleed. They sitting in comfort. It's just like a little mini stadium. If you really want to get a glimpse of what I'm talking about, when I told you about Eyes Wide Shut and that shit coming to pass, y'all believing it now because there's too many people talking about it, blowing the whistle, right? Well, I'm telling you something about cloning. When they want to experiment on somebody, they'll make 5 clones of that one person, then take the real clone and reserve it. And then they take that copy of you and put it in an arena, and everybody want to see you bleed. They want to see you stab yourself. And then, this is the sickening part, they'll let you bleed out and then go drink your blood. And then cut pieces of you and eat it. There are some people out there that's in the Illuminati world that's very rich billionaires. They can't eat regular food because they so hooked on human flesh. They do all this shit at the clone lab. Everything, if you want to be in Hollywood, you want to be rich, famous, you got to go to the clone lab. Ciara has been cloned. They know she is very talented dancing while she ain't no type of singer, but she can dance. She been cloned. That's not the real Ciara. She's under hypnosis. She been chipped. They done made 3-4 different Ciaras. They did the same thing with Janet Jackson. She been chipped and cloned too. They keep them around because they keep making revenue from them, making money. When you have sex with Janet Jackson, you're meeting her representative. That's why y'all better stop being attracted to the big old booties and big breasts. I'm just telling you, if you better come with a spiritual perspective, because these women, they're not who they say they are. They're representative of cloning labs, and they're looking for righteous brothers to bring back to the lab to experiment on. And then they wipe your brain clean. The point I'm making is that once they put that chip on you, they get you to do anything. Okay. MLK equals clone. Every rich person has a clone. Now, I know a lot of y'all saying, well, what if you was in a franchise and you made money? Will they come after you? You cannot be rich in this world without being a part of the Illuminati or being cloned. You cannot have $5 million in your bank and not be a part of the brotherhood. I don't care if you own a chicken joint, a laundromat, if you got a car lot, you are not going to have that type of money, and you're not going to be a part of their program. This is how they get you, man. I said it prior. They always want to invite you somewhere, and most of the time they'll pay for it. And you're going to go for it because you know, man, I must be all right. They're paying for everything, room and board. It's in the food. They're going to serve you. They're going to put it in your drink. And if you person say, I don't want nothing to eat that night, and you just say, he ain't eating, he ain't drinking nothing either, they got plan B. They're going to have a beautiful girl bump up against you. She has a little needle that's going to feel like a mosquito bite, but that's just like a pin, like a needle head she's going to hit you with, that's going to knock your ass out within 60 seconds. You see all that James Bond shit? That shit exists, man. And while you sleeping, they put a chip in your neck, your head, or whatever they decide to put it, and you become MLK. And if you're real valuable and smart, they're going to clone you and take the real you and put you away and let your clone act like you. Okay? It's not an entertainment, music industry, sports thing. It's everywhere. If you're a person that came out with a software that generates millions of dollars, they're coming after you. Remember that dude that made Flappy Bird or whatever that thing was called? He was getting 56 million downloads a day. They came after him. He said he ain't gonna do it no more. He pulled it, remember y'all? He pulled it because he was getting too much attention. The money was coming in like crazy. They drafted him and said, you're gonna work for us. They made him come back. And they put him on the hip. He was fighting, but they met him. He went out to meet or whatever. He said he didn't want no part of him. They shot him up with some shit. He came back under hypnosis. And now they pipping his brain to make other software. He works for them now. He's in the clone lab, and they ain't let him go home. A lot of times when you hear about people that's dead, they're not dead. Gaddafi never died. Gaddafi clone died, but he never died. Okay. What makes them want to clone you? A person that's all over YouTube, you know, you're becoming famous, people listening to you. And if you notice, these dudes are proud, man, poofed up. They love the spotlight. They like being on everybody's channel. They put on their little decoration. They 6-point star. Another guy who's been chipped is Professor Griff. This is why he can get on and talk a lot of shit and tell so much truth and tell so much lie. Come on, man. When Alex Jones gave his book, when Alex Jones pumped his book up, I knew that they had already got to him. He's on the MLK. Okay? Alex Jones also been chipped. If they get to where they don't want to be a part of that no more, they'll cut their chip off and they'll just start having eternal pains. Speaking of pain, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was killed, man. Let me just explain this. Bernie Mac sold his soul. They don't even let you see things like this until you sell your soul. So when Bernie Mac got that show, he had sold his soul. The Bernie Mac show. Then he started getting movies. But way before then, he was just doing comedian.